Welcome to the wedding of James William Hard and Brittany Julia Clifford. I am Kate Dahl, Jamie's sister, and I have the honor of officiating today's celebration. Take a moment, look around at all the people who are here. Just take it all in. Because this place, these people, this feeling, this is what matters. Love is a great unifier. No matter who we are, where we've come from, what we believe, we know one thing. Love is what we're doing right. That's why you're both standing here. And that's why you all are here to watch them stand up here. We have all loved in our lifetimes, and in this moment, we're reminded that the ability to love is the very best part of our humanity. All of us here today have our own love stories. I doubt Jamie and Brittany realized that the moment when they met at the Park Tavern in 2013 was the beginning of their story together. Well, maybe Brittany knew. Without knowing that Jamie was going to join her group, she took a picture of him and sent it to her friends with a note that said, "This is the most handsome man I've ever seen." No pressure. For Jamie, the big moment came when Brittany met our family in perhaps one of the most intense first family meetings you can imagine. Our brother's wedding, where Brittany met and stayed with our entire family for a weekend. She handled it with her usual ease, grace, and humor. At that moment, Jamie could always imagine her being a part of the family. There are many other moments, big and small, heartbreaking and heart-filling, that have led Brittany and Jamie to now, 5:15-ish p.m. on August 25th, 2018. I'm here, we're all here, because we want many more of those moments for you. We're here to hope with you, to support you, to be proud of you, and to remind you that love isn't happily ever after. Love is the experience of writing your story. It's not one moment, it's not even this moment, it's every moment. Big ones like saying I love you, moving in together, getting engaged, having children, but mostly a million little ones that come in between those big moments. Falling asleep next to one another, ordering pizza and watching your favorite shows, spending lazy days at the beach, making up new bedtime songs, getting a big hug when you come home from work at the end of the day. That's the good stuff. Trying to describe love is one of our favorite pastimes. We use the words we have to try to capture its essence in stories and songs and poems. Jamie and Brittany have chosen some words about what love is to them. I now invite Alicia Hard, Jamie's sister-in-law, to share a poem.
I Carry Your Heart With Me by E. E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful, you are my world, my true, and it's you, or whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret that no one knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that keeps the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart.
Thank you, Alicia. Jamie and Brittany, you met by chance at the Park Tavern, but you're here today because you're making a choice. You are each choosing the other. I'm not marrying you today. You are marrying each other. You have selected vows that contain your commitments to each other. Although your vows were spoken in a matter of minutes, they are promises that will last a lifetime. With your friends and family here to bear witness, you will now share these promises. James, do you take Brittany to be your wife?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to her happiness and uniqueness as a person?
I do.
Do you promise to love, respect, and trust her in sickness and in health, in adversity and prosperity, and to be true and loyal to her for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Brittany, do you take James to be your husband?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to his happiness and uniqueness as a person?
I do.
Do you promise to love, respect, and trust him in sickness and in health, in adversity and prosperity, and to be true and loyal to him for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
You've both chosen to wear rings as a reminder of these promises. People often say that wedding bands are a perfect circle with no beginning and no end. But these rings did have a beginning. The stones were formed thousands of years ago deep within the earth. They rose to the surface. Metal was liquefied in a hot furnace, and then molded, cooled, and painstakingly polished. Something beautiful was made from something raw and elemental. Love is like that. It comes from humble beginnings, and through a combination of serendipity and effort, imperfect beings shape it into something extraordinary. It's the process of making something beautiful where there was once nothing at all. As you look at your rings over the years, I hope you remember that. You've created something invaluable, and just as I know you'll protect your rings, I'm confident you'll protect the commitment you've made to one another today. Matthew, can I please have the rings? James, please place the ring on Brittany's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
Brittany, please place the ring on Jamie's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
Shove it on there.
As I was preparing for today, I asked both Jamie and Brittany to send me some notes about the other and about their life together, what they most cherish about that life together. I'm going to end with something that Brittany shared. She said, I love that home is no longer a location, but Jamie. And so our wish for you today is that you continue to be each other's home. May you often be reminded of the shared values, deep respect, and tenderness that are your foundation. And with that, let's make this official, okay? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of Colorado, I now pronounce you husband and wife. James, you may kiss your bride. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Mr. and Mrs. James and Brittany Hart.
on behalf of myself, my beautiful wife Pam over there. All right. So, yep, first of many standing ovations. Thank you. We appreciate that. And then certainly on behalf of Charles and Patty Clifford, our co-hosts this evening. It's our pleasure to welcome you to Jamie and Brittany's, actually I should have said Brittany and Jamie's marriage. Get used to it, Jamie. Her name always goes first. This is the third and, for my three children, final wedding that we are fortunate enough to host. And they never get old as occasions for family and friends to really remember what it makes our lives special in each other. So it's our pleasure to be here. Beautiful day, thankfully. That worked out great. You've already heard from Jamie's mom, who did the presentation, one of the presentations last night at the rehearsal dinner. Very tough act to follow. I don't have any stories about bread being thrown out of windows. And I've left the police stories out for the bar afterwards. And you've already heard from his older sister Kate, who was the officiant today, both of whom I'm very proud to say did a very great job that I had absolutely nothing to do with. And then you shortly hear from his older brother, and this is not the Hard Family Show, by the way, but you will shortly hear from the best man and his older brother, Matthew. So I'm going to try to not cover any of the ground that anybody else in the family has covered. So I'd like to share a couple of impressions of Jamie as a young man, and in a couple of senses, and then certainly how we first met Brittany and how special that's become in our lives. Those of you who know Jamie, and I think there's a table way over there that calls him James, so it's the same guy we're talking about. I just heard that about 30 minutes ago, by the way, that he's James in the workplace. One of the things about Jamie, from being a little boy to today, is his kind of approach to life. He is totally non-judgmental. When he had friends growing up and now, whether you were an athlete, a non-athlete, into drama, into sports, into academics, don't laugh, Matt. He was in academics for quite a while. Kind of no matter what you were interested in, Jamie was there for you with a full and open heart. And he's always had a smile on his face. Girls, guys, everybody has been his friend. Now that's a compliment. That's not a threat, Brittany. That's a compliment. Well, the jury's still out on that part, Brittany. But Jamie always had a very open heart, and it's not to say that his life has been easy. Everybody everybody in this room, we all have our challenges, and Jamie met his challenges the same way he met life, which was open, take it on, and never back down. And I think one of the proudest moments for me in his life is seeing how he has handled himself with tough challenges, which we all have. And those of you who were at Matt and Alicia's wedding would know how Jamie addressed one of his challenges in a very classical style that was so typical of Jamie, because he put everybody at ease, and he did it as only Jamie could do it. And it was, I think, one of the hits of that particular wedding. And he did that while saying, actually managing to fit in some really nice things about his older brother. But in the last 5 years, Jamie's taken on a lot. He moved out of Washington, D.C., much to the chagrin of his mother and myself. Yeah, you will continue to apologize till you move back east. It's okay. But we understand why you in Colorado and why you love it. But he basically moved out here, took on a brand new lifestyle, really didn't know anybody when he came out here, has looked at a couple of changes in career paths, and I'm proud of him for finally finding something he really, really enjoys and cherishes doing, which is a blessing, I think, for all of us if we're able to do so. And probably the biggest thing he's taken on in the last 5 years was taking on the dreaded CFA and passing it all 3 levels. We have an official CFA here, and while he was doing all that, he had the good fortune to meet our Brittany. And so he managed to fit in the most important part as well. We met Brittany for the first time, as you heard from Kate, I'm sorry, at Matt and Alicia's wedding. And she got full immersion into the Hard family. We'd rented a house. Brittany showed up with Jamie. We'd never met her before. We'd heard about her, but never met her. And within 15 minutes, and those of you who are parents out here will know this feeling, Pam and I looked at each other the same way we looked at each other when we first met Alicia, and then when we first met Kaylee, and said, you know what, they are perfect together. That was the one and only thing that went through our minds, is we were so fortunate. And Brittany clinched it by coming to the rehearsal. She hardly knew anybody there. We're at the rehearsal, we're walking through things, nobody's saying anything serious, and we look out in the audience of one, which was Brittany, and there are tears streaming down her face at the rehearsal. So we're like, this girl's perfect. She fits right in with this family. I'd also throw out a small challenge to her new in-laws. Aunt Britt is the favorite of Emma and Claire, our two flower girls today, who also did a great job, and at least one of them's still awake. They're both still awake. That's pretty amazing. So I'm going to wrap it up. I've said this at Matt and Alicia's wedding and at Katie and Kaylee's wedding, that there's no joy for a parent no greater joy than for a parent than for them to see them matched up and to meet and have an opportunity to spend a lifetime with somebody who is such a perfect fit for them. So please raise a glass with me. Let me find mine. Here we go. Here's to a life of love, happiness, and everything life brings you together. Jamie, Brittany, congratulations. And now Charles Clifford, Brittany's dad.
On behalf of Patty and I, we'd like to thank all of you for coming from far and near to join us for the celebration of the wedding of Brittany and James. On behalf of everyone here now, I want to offer a toast to both of you. All of us here wish both of you a wonderful life together. Here's to your new life together as one. And now, Galen.
I appreciate it.
So I just want to introduce myself. My name's Kellen. I've been best friends with Brittany since 2006. I first wanted to say thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Clifford and Mr. and Mrs. Hard for bringing everybody together and allowing us to celebrate this beautiful couple. So I first met Brittany when she was living in Washington State. I learned how to say Washington State because there are a lot of East Coast people here, and I get easily confused. We first met working at the Olive Garden, and we went to college together. Yeah? That's a hard subject for us. When we went to college together at Western Washington University. Brittany and I became best friends quickly. We share many memories and many adventures together. When I kept thinking about the thing I wanted to say to Brittany today, okay. But the thing I kept going back to was her devotion and her loyalty to the people that she loves. As I'm sure many of you in this room know, when you're in Brittany's life, you're in it for good. There are many times I can remember laughing with Brittany and her being there for me the times that I cried. She is one of those special people that you know she's there when you need her. And I think what illustrates this best is there was a couple times in our friendship where we would have to say goodbye to each other because we wouldn't see each other for a while. And Brittany would never say goodbye to me. She would just hug me and say, "See you later." And I knew that was Brittany's way of showing me her loyalty and devotion. When she told me she was moving to Colorado, I was devastated. And at that time, she did her famous Brittany move and she said, "I'll see you later." And I knew it. I knew that was true. I knew that the distance would not impact our friendship. And the past 7 years that she's been in Colorado, I am so grateful. The distance didn't change our friendship. She is my best friend. I'm not done. I'm not done. Hold on. And I like to believe I was the first one to get that infamous text of Jamie at the Tavern Inn? Yeah. Okay. And it's true. Jamie, you're handsome. Smart. And you clearly make good decisions. So I would like everyone here today to raise their glass and to toast Mr. and Mrs. Hard.
So much, Tall. That was great. That was so.
Well, that was beautiful. Okay. Jamie, you're not that good looking. Okay. So I'm Matthew. I'm Jamie's older brother. First of all, I want to thank the Hart family and the Clifford families for bringing together two such wonderful families. This has been an amazing day, so let's... And second of all, I want to thank my beautiful daughter, Emma Sophia, my beautiful niece, Claire, for being the Flower Girls. We want our money back, okay? That's why it's called a rehearsal, girls. She's smiling. She doesn't get it. Okay. So one of the challenges in preparing for this speech was, Jamie, you've just provided me with just so much material. So it's really more about filtering down to what would be appropriate. So I'm going to share some of my favorite stories about Jamie. Yes. Okay. So strap in. Okay. There's about 3 of them. And then I'll tie it up nicely at the end. Okay. Story number 1. So one of my earliest memories of Jamie was starting at the age of about 8. In the beginning of each summer, last day of school, Jamie would march down to his room. He would open up his little suitcase. He'd pack up all of his clothes. So Jamie would take his little suitcase and he'd walk down the hall, bang a left, right in my room. Because he was moving in for the summer. Because I was the only one, for some reason, as a middle child, I had the bunk beds. Jamie would walk in and be like, hey, all right, roommates, all summer. This is going to be great. You want the top bunk? Should I take the bottom bunk? You know what? Bottom bunk's probably, top bunk's the best. It's your room. You take top bunk, I'll take bottom bunk. Okay. So, spoiler alert, not the best idea to take the bottom bunk when the guy on the top bunk is the occasional bedwetter. Okay? So one day after an accident, Jamie wakes up in the morning and he's like, man, did you like wet the bed last night? I'm like, yeah, I did. It's like, yeah, because I felt it coming down the wall and it went on me. It's like, that was crazy. I'm like, yeah, it is. And then I just knew Jamie always had the best attitude about anything. He wasn't even mad. He was just hanging out with my bro. Have a little bedwetting, it's a good time. It's good. Okay, story number 2. Similar age, he's about 8. We're on, paint the picture, we're on hour 9 of about a 12-hour drive back from Savannah, Georgia, visiting my dad's side of the family. And Jamie is just on fire. All these guys, yes. And Jamie is just on fire. He snorted 2 pounds of pixie sticks before he got in the car. Because he is just out of control. Throwing stuff at my dad, kicking the seat, screaming at the top of his lungs for no reason. Until finally, hour 9, my dad says, Jamie, this is your last warning. And of course, me as his older brother, I'm like, dude, he's not going to do anything. Just do it. Just kick his seat. Just one more time. And Jamie goes, my dad goes, that's it. When we get home, you're getting spanked. Which, by the way, Dad, kind of weird you spanked us, but okay. So, someone called child services on that guy. Don't let him fool you. He was a spanker. So for the rest of the trip, 2 more hours. Jamie's still, keeping it calm. He's kind of making fun of my dad. Oh, wait, rewind. He says, I'm going to spank you. And Jamie rubs it in. He goes, oh, you're going to spank me with my pants down? So dad cools ice. Doesn't say a word. 2 more hours, we get home. Jamie just kind of disappears. I'm like, okay, he's hiding because he's obviously in trouble. And we know my dad hasn't forgotten. He's unloading the car. And I'm like, is he? Like, me and Katie are sitting there, will he, won't he? Like, I don't know. Jamie was pretty good those last 2 hours. Like, is it? So Jamie walks down the stairs. He was wearing my mom's red leather jacket, a bandana, sunglasses, gold chains, and a crucifix, which he wrapped around his hand. He goes out to my dad, he looks at it, he kisses the crucifix and says, I'm ready for my spanking. And then he got spanked really hard. Remember that one? You remember that one? It was probably your last spanking. Yeah. But seriously, Dad, with the spanking, it's weird. So, my last story I want to tell about Jamie is, and this is just classic Jamie. So as you can imagine, Jamie in middle school, around 7th grade, was known throughout the school as just being really just calm and always paid attention in class and was just really easy to teach and to distract any of the other students. Didn't even know who the principal was. I mean, he was just a really, really disciplined student. So one day, the teacher comes out and he's like, I've got a stack of tests right here. And not one of you got a score above 70%. Do you care to explain yourselves? And Jamie, in English class, hadn't quite learned yet what a rhetorical question was. So Jamie in the back can't help himself. Just, Yes, Jamie? Maybe it's because you're a bad teacher. Brutal honesty, this guy. You can always count on him. Brutally honest. And my mom, who always had his back, who of course was called in after school, says, well, maybe you shouldn't ask a question you don't want to hear the answer to. So those are my 3 stories. But what I also want to say, in all seriousness, what I love the most about Jamie is, for all of you who know, and by the way, your name's Jamie. It's not James. I don't know what this James thing is. Just knock it off. No, you're Jamie. He's Jamie. He's not James. Okay. So my favorite thing about Jamie is, as we got older, we just talked more and more just about wide-ranging topics, et cetera, et cetera. So my favorite thing about Jamie is when you get into a conversation with Jamie, you have no idea what's on the menu. The range of topics is broad and deep. So what I did was I thought maybe I put together what a hypothetical conversation with Jamie might look like, and you will accomplish or touch on the following topics in the span of about 15 minutes. Okay. So forgive my cadence, but this is what you can expect to cover. Here we go. Should we get crabs tonight? How far do you think we could swim before one of us drowned? Should we get some White Russians? God, the 80s must have been so awesome. Fall's the best season by far. I think I'm going to cut my hair. Dude, how crazy are sharks? I think I'm more of a mountain guy now, though the beach is pretty awesome. In 6 months, I bet we could look like Brad Pitt. God, the 60s must have been so awesome. What kind of dog should I get? How awesome would it be to have like 5 kids? You know what? Actually, I'm definitely more of a beach guy. Do you like these sunglasses? What do you think the best superpower is? It's definitely flying. On second thought, I think I'm going to grow my hair out. Should we get oysters? Did I ever tell you about the time I almost choked to death on a milk dud? True story. Do you think I'd look like Ryan Gosling? Dude, my dad is like the nicest guy. Wait. Are we getting crabs or are we getting oysters? We should probably just get both, right? How awesome would it be to build a house with like your bare hands? Do you guys mind if I put more salt on these chips? Brewskis? Should we get some brewskis? God, going to bed at 9 at night is like the best. What do you like better, Jamie or James? I think a bear would win in a fight against a lion, but it'd be pretty close. Hey, it's Christmas Eve. Should we watch Die Hard or It's a Wonderful Life? Did you know Andre the Giant could drink 140 beers in one sitting? How crazy is that? Do you think aliens exist? And of course, my family is like the best. Yes. Yes, that was good. That was good. Oh my God. That was good. And now I come to Brittany. So, as my dad touched on, when Jamie left for Colorado, it was a big moment for Jamie. He was spreading his wings, putting his roots down, find himself, discover himself. So about, I don't know, maybe a month in, he calls me, and he's like, hey, man, I met this girl, and I'm thinking about getting pretty serious with her. And I said, wait, stop right there. You can't date anybody. You just moved out here. You're out of your mind? So Jamie thank God, had the wisdom to totally ignore his older brother and not take his really, really crappy advice. And I could not be more happy that the two of you ended up together. And by the way, Brittany, like from day one when I met you on the day I got married, I knew immediately you were going to be like a sister to me. And all the times we spent together, you've just seamlessly been a part of our family, and I love you to death. And so does the rest of our immediate family. And we love you. We love you. So let's raise a toast, raise a glass. And just want to say to Jamie and Brittany, everybody here loves you to death. And we wish you nothing but the best, but love and happiness the rest of your life. Love you.
All right, first question, we can figure this out real quick. Who has the smelliest feet? Jamie, you need your shoe in your hand, or you can raise your foot. You choose. Okay. Next question, who has the most shoes? Jamie. No way. I wouldn't have guessed it. Who made the first move? You can't look. No looking. No looking. You gotta answer. You gotta answer. Okay. Good answer. Who was the one that made the relationship official? Nice. Nice. That a boy. Who hogs the bed? All right, who is more likely to use all of the hot water in the house? Who takes the longest to get ready? Who is the most romantic? Oh. Okay, so who said I love you first? Nice! That a boy. Who has to always have the final words in an argument? Who says I'm sorry first after the argument? Really? This is great! That's perfect! Oh man. Who started the argument? Okay, so taking it back just a little bit, who was the biggest geek in school? Okay, the cool kids. We get it. We get it. Who is the better driver? Wow. Who is more spontaneous? Who's better at keeping secrets? You guys are pretty good at this. Who's the better cook? Wow. Okay. Who talks more? Who shops more? Nice! So we got a diva. Who has the craziest family? This could be too personal. You don't have to answer it. They're all here right now. All right, who is the most stubborn out of the two? Reluctantly, he raises it. Who's the biggest baby when they're sick? Okay. You guys can take care of each other. Who is... We've seen a little bit of this, but who is the better dancer? Yes! Honesty, I love it. All right, the last question. Who do you love most in this entire world? Oh, boy. Jamie, ultimately she answered you, but you should have seen the hesitation. It was amazing. Alrighty, guys, that is the end of the shoe game. Give them a round of applause. You guys did amazing.